Web3 was born with a bold promise to strip power from the few and distribute it to the many. Its foundation was transparency, an open, immutable ledger where nothing could be hidden, altered, or erased. This was a revolution against the shadows of Web 2, where centralized giants hoarded our data, manipulated our feeds, and monetized our lives without consent. But in our zeal to build a world where no one could lie, we created a world where no one could hide. Every transaction, every vote, every digital footprint is publicly etched onto the blockchain forever. We removed the gatekeepers, but we also tore down the curtains. What started as a tool for freedom now risks becoming a tool of exposure. The same transparency that allows us to hold institutions accountable is now turning inward, tracking, tagging, and illuminating the very users it set out to empower. This is the paradox of Web3. Transparency enables trust, but privacy safeguards dignity. Without balance, we sacrifice one to feed the other. If the future is truly decentralized, it must give people the power to choose, not just how they interact, but what they reveal. What matters now is understanding the cost of constant visibility and building the tools to reclaim our shadows. In Web 2, your data was stored in silos, sold behind your back and occasionally deleted, or at least hidden. In Web 3, your data becomes immortal. Blockchain doesn't forgive, and it never forgets. Every transfer of tokens, every NFT minted, every interaction with a smart contract lives forever, an eternal record of every digital move you've made. And this permanence isn't theoretical, it's already hurting people. Activists who spoke out through DAOs have been tracked by authoritarian regimes. NFT collectors have been harassed after their wallet addresses were linked to their real identities. Traders have been doxxed based on transaction patterns alone. Once your wallet is exposed, the rest is a puzzle waiting to be solved. Your behavior is your biography, and in Web 3 it's all visible. This isn't just about privacy, it's about safety. In a world where your digital presence is permanent and public, a mistake made today can haunt you for decades. Immutability is powerful, but power without control is dangerous. It's time to recognize that forever is a long time, and not everything deserves to be recorded in ink that never fades. Decentralization has become a sacred word in Web 3, a symbol of resistance, freedom, and fairness. But decentralization is an infrastructure decision, not a privacy guarantee. Just because power isn't concentrated in one company doesn't mean your information is safe. In fact, decentralization often means the opposite. Everything is public by default. DAOs hold their votes on-chain. DeFi protocols display full transaction histories. NFT ownership is a digital badge with a timestamp and wallet ID attached. Even your most mundane blockchain actions are visible to anyone who knows how to read a block explorer. And this visibility doesn't require consent. You're not opting in, you're simply using the system as it was designed. The result, a paradox where you control your keys but lose control of your footprint. If decentralization is going to live up to its promise, we have to demand more than public access. We need private spaces, permissioned data, privacy as a principle, not a patch. Otherwise, we're not building a freer internet, we're building a surveillance machine with no one behind the curtain, because the machine is the curtain. Without privacy, there is no freedom of thought, no safety to speak, no space to grow, fail, or resist. Privacy isn't just about hiding, it's about choosing what to reveal, when to reveal it, and to whom. In many parts of the world, anonymity is protection. Activists, journalists, dissidents, these people don't want to opt in to public chains. They need secrecy to survive. Web 3's obsession with radical openness often forgets that context matters. Visibility might feel like power in Silicon Valley, but it feels like danger in Tehran or Caracas or Beijing. We must reject the idea that privacy and transparency are at war. They are not enemies. They are opposites that coexist in healthy tension. One guards truth, the other guards freedom. To create a truly inclusive Web3, privacy must be designed as a core layer, not bolted on as an optional feature. We don't need to build a darker internet. We need to build one that understands where the light should and shouldn't shine. Soulbound tokens, SBTAs, were introduced with noble intentions. They are untransferable tokens bound forever to a wallet, used to represent credentials, achievements, and identity. A diploma, a certification, proof that you attended a DAO event, that you voted in a protocol, that you exist in a digital community. But what happens when those credentials expose you? What if you earn a token for supporting a political movement that later becomes criminalized? What if an employer scans your SBT history and rejects you based on ideological bias? What if your digital identity becomes a weapon used to box you in rather than elevate you? This is not science fiction, it's already happening. Web3 is hurtling toward a future where your reputation lives on-chain, visible and immutable. And the more we tie real-world identity to wallet addresses, the more we risk turning the open web into a permanent dossier. Consent is everything. No one should be tagged for life without permission. Soulbound tokens must come with soulbound ethics. Transparency is sacred in Web3. It's what lets us verify instead of trust. It keeps projects honest, exposes rug pulls, and holds whales accountable. But in the wrong hands, or with no guardrails, transparency becomes a trap. We start to monitor each other obsessively. We judge wallets based on token holdings. We blacklist users for the communities they've joined. We turn on-chain data into social scoring. Transparency without boundaries creates paranoia, it discourages risk, it sterilizes innovation. People stop experimenting when they know the world is watching. We must rethink how we design visibility into systems. Transparency should flow upward, holding platforms and protocols accountable. Privacy should flow downward, protecting users and individuals. A future without secrets is a future without safety. The solution isn't total transparency or total anonymity. The solution is consent. Consent is what lets us choose our exposure. It is what separates surveillance from sharing, what separates tyranny from trust. In a consent-first Web3, users decide what to make public. Privacy isn't something you fight for, it's something you control by default. This means wallets that offer masked transactions, DAOs that allow private votes, protocols that don't log unnecessary data. It means interfaces that don't assume you want to be seen, and chains that let you remain unseen. This future isn't impossible. It's already being built by projects like Aleo, Secret Network, and Zcaps, but adoption is slow and culture is resistant. To build a Web3 worth using, we must prioritize people over protocols, privacy over permanence, choice over exposure. Because at the heart of the ethical dilemma is a very human truth. We are not our wallets. We are not our tokens. We are more than what we do on-chain, and we deserve to be treated that way.